what will bringing the games back actually do for our state's economy? KSL investigator Daniela Rivera joins us with what it will cost to host the games and what Utahns stand to gain. Daniela?
We've looked at the budget for the 2034 games, and we've looked at the projected economic impact. Those numbers say Utah is going to get a big boost over the next 10 years, and the experts say they are confident going in because we've done this before, and that means way less guesswork this time around.
I actually thought about it at closing ceremonies, that I said, wow, this has been magical for our state. Let's do that again.
If there were a medal for hosting the Winter Games, Utah could have claimed gold. In 2002, we showed the world we could do it and turn a profit.
We hadn't done it before. We were kind of guessing.
Frazier Bullock heads up the Salt Lake City, Utah committee for the games and jokingly calls budgeting an unofficial Olympic sport.
Oh, I love the budget. I love to just go tinker late at night.
He says despite a $2.8 billion operating budget, Utah taxpayers won't have to shell out a dime for the 2034 Winter Games.
They're going to make money on the games, and here's why. Because the games are privately funded through ticketing, through the IOC, and through sponsors.
Don't just take his word for it. The University of Utah's Kem C. Gardner Policy Institute has studied and crunched the numbers, estimating a cumulative $6.6 billion in economic output for Utah between now and the games, almost $3.9 billion in state gross domestic product, more than 42,000 job years of employment, and $2.5 billion in personal income for Utahns.
It is a economic win for the state and something that's pretty hard to replicate in any other way.
Natalie Gochner and Bullock say Utah is well situated to pull it off again, in part because we don't need to build any new venues. Money left over from the 2002 Olympics helped maintain Utah's Olympic facilities for years. And when that ran out, the legislature stepped in, allocating close to $95 million to keep the venues in use. The goal this time around is to leave behind a larger fund.
To make sure that going forward, no taxpayer money is required to keep the venues up to date, operating, and great for our communities and for our kids.
Hosting the games can bring other economic wins. For example, ahead of the 2002 games, federal funds were fast-tracked to Utah to build the track's light rail system and complete several highway improvement projects.
When you're going to be host to the world, you get better in every way. You know, our restaurants have to get better, our hotels have to get better. Our population has to take care of the things that are important to us.
We can't be resting on our laurels.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Just as athletes train and prepare now, hopeful to one day compete on a world stage, Utah must put in the work, Gochner says, between now and 2034. And if our performance in 2002 is any indicator, Utah can rise to the occasion.
We've delivered on that vision of becoming a winter sports capital. That's our living legacy, and that's a huge plus to us going into 2034. We didn't have that before 2002. It's living today.
Now, ultimately, if Utah were to come out of the games in the red, Utah taxpayers would be on the hook. But the Utah Committee for the Games is confident in the working budget and has built in contingency funds to hopefully cover any surprises. Back to you.